A tomato sandwich looks simple because it is. Just bread, tomato, and mayo. 3 ingredients, and that's it. But simple isn't the same as easy. The simpler a dish is, the less room there is to hide. Every small detail decides whether it's going to be brilliant or boring. Speaking of details, most people miss 3 critical ones that make all the difference. When you salt, how you toast the bread, and how you use the mayo. Once you understand the why behind those details, a tomato sandwich can go from being ordinary to unbelievable. So here are 3 tricks that I have learned that make a perfect tomato sandwich. And if you stick around till the end, I'll let you in on my secret to serve it in the most attractive way possible. Let's go! The first trick is about salting the tomatoes, and more importantly, when to do it. Most people either skip this step or overdo it. Both are easy mistakes. Think of a good tomato to be a bag of flavored water held together by a web of pectin. When you sprinkle salt on a tomato slice, it starts to pull some of that water out via a process called osmosis, and you can actually watch it happen. I'm salting these tomatoes, and after a few minutes, the salt gets absorbed, letting out beads and drops of water. What's cool is that this isn't just dehydration. As the water moves out, what's left behind becomes more concentrated, sweeter, and more tomato-y. The texture firms up too. It's the same ingredient, but suddenly it behaves better inside a sandwich. Try cutting a slice of tomato in half, salt one and leave the other as is. You'll notice a clear difference between the two. Salting tomatoes makes a world of difference in how they taste. It triggers your salivary glands to make more saliva, which means more flavor compounds from the tomatoes actually reach your taste buds. Salt softens the bitterness, rounds the acidity, and somehow makes the tomato taste sweeter. When should you salt your tomatoes? If you're eating the sandwich right away, salt just before you assemble, no need to wait at all. This gives you bright, fresh juiciness without risking soggy bread. But if you're making the sandwich ahead to eat it later on, salt the tomatoes and leave them to dehydrate for about 5 to 10 minutes. Let the moisture draw out, then blot the slices gently with a paper towel. That way the flavors will concentrate and it won't sog your sandwich. And of course, to get any of this right in the first place, you need good tomatoes. I recommend buying them from your local farmer's market rather than a supermarket. Supermarket tomatoes are plucked for shipping when they are underripe, and so they taste noticeably less superior than the ones you buy fresh from the local farmers. Now that you have understood how to salt your tomatoes right, let's get to the bread. The second trick is all about the bread, and specifically how you toast it. I'm using Japanese style milk bread. They call it shokupan in Japan, and while mine is not cut as thick, it's still fluffy and delicious. Now here's the trick. I'll apply some butter and toast exactly one side and not the other. Most people either toast both sides or none at all. It feels logical, but it's not optimal. Toasting only the inner side gives you the best of both worlds. Crisp on the inside, where the sandwich needs structure and texture, and soft on the outside, where you want comfort. That thin golden layer acts like a subtle shield. When bread browns, the sugars and proteins on the surface go through the Maillard reaction. That's what creates the nutty aroma, the flavor, and also a bit of water resistance. If you toast both sides, you risk making the sandwich dry and brittle with crumbs dropping out after every bite. If you leave the outside of the sandwich soft, every bite feels cleaner and the bread gives way without shattering. The toasted inner side supports the tomato, keeps the mayo where it belongs, and gives each bite that soft, crisp rhythm that makes good bread addictive. Simple adjustment, huge difference. Now the third trick, and the one that most people will get wrong, is applying a good quantity and quality of mayonnaise. A thin layer just isn't enough. You want an even coat on both slices of the bread right up to the edges. Think of it as part of the structure of the sandwich, not just a condiment. And here's why. Mayo is mostly fat and emulsified egg. Fat repels water, and that's exactly what keeps the tomato juices from soaking into your bread. It's basically a moisture barrier that also happens to taste incredibly good. A good mayonnaise also rounds off the sharp acidity of the tomato, softens bitterness, and adds that smooth, rich mouthfeel that ties everything together. Now for the mayo, I prefer the Japanese Kewpie brand. It's richer because it's made with egg yolks instead of whole eggs, and it has a tiny bit of MSG that gives it a subtle umami note. If you're using a regular mayonnaise, you can mimic the Kewpie flavor by adding a dash of rice vinegar for acidity, a pinch of sugar for roundness, and a small sprinkle of MSG for depth. Different brands of mayonnaise taste different, so start small and tweak until it tastes bright and slightly savory. And about MSG, the fear around it is outdated. It's the same glutamate molecule that makes Parmesan, soy sauce, and ripe tomatoes taste really good. It's safe, it's delicious, it's natural, and it's probably already in your favorite foods. So don't hold back, spread the mayonnaise generously on both slices. It'll keep your sandwich savory and coherent. Now for the best part, let's put the sandwich together. After you spread the mayo, start stacking the tomato slices. 2 layers is usually perfect, enough to feel substantial without sliding around. Then place the other slice of bread on top and give it a gentle press. This is going to help the mayo spread into the gaps between the tomatoes so every bite hits that balance of fat, acid and salt. And now it's time to cut the sandwich open. But before I do that, let me show you how to wrap it up to keep the filling from falling apart as you eat. Place the sandwich on a parchment paper, roll the ends together tightly like so, and then tuck the ends of the parchment paper under the sandwich. This keeps the filling from spilling out when you cut the sandwich for that beautiful cross-section view. This one trick amplifies the visual effects so much, it's worth doing every time. Folks, few things look as tempting as this. When you go for a bite, the brightness from the tomato, roundness from the mayo, and that little crunch from the inner crust will stand out in the first bite. It's one of those few things that tastes like more than the sum of its parts. Only 3 ingredients, but each doing exactly what it's meant to be. 3 small tricks, 1 perfect sandwich. So go make it, and if you do, let me know in the comments below how it turned out. Now if you like this video, you will definitely like this next one that's popped up on your screen. Thanks for watching, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.